Hey everybody, it's Jed here, and today we'll be talking about Barcelona FC, a small little independent team coming out of Spain, fighting and scrapping their way, demanding people's respect. None of that's true. This is, arguably the biggest football team in the world, and they're in the midst of an absolutely incredible season, both domestically and internationally, in La Liga and the Champions Cup. And pretty much every other competition they've been a part of so far. But I think to fully appreciate what they've been able to accomplish this year, which has been nothing short of amazing so far, I think we have to look back at last season and how that year ended for them. Pretty much, it was the first year in a long time that I can remember that when the year ended, we had more questions about these guys than answers. They lost La Liga to Madrid by 3 points, their arch rival. They got knocked out of the Champions Cup by Juventus in absolutely crushing fashion, losing 3-0 over the course of 2 legs. And this is not the first time that Barcelona has been ousted before reaching the semifinals or even the championship. But it had been a long time that I can remember that Barcelona didn't just lose, but they got dominant. It wasn't a competitive 2 games over the 2 legs. Juventus absolutely smacked them around, and then Barcelona lost really, really convincingly. It was really odd. They didn't even score a goal. So they lose La Liga. They lose the Champions Cup. During the year, Luis Enrique, their manager at the time, he announced that he was leaving. So they were losing their manager, and then that off season, Neymar, maybe outside of Messi, of course, who's the best, he's the GOAT. But Neymar was really the up and comer, and he was pretty much just as valuable to the team as Messi, in theory at the time. He was leaving. He decided to become the guy. He didn't want to be Messi's sidekick anymore. He wanted to be the go-to dude. He went to PSG on a historic transfer, $100+ million. So only $100 million, no big deal. Chump change. So he bolted. So and Messi was getting older. This defense was getting gashed in big games, and Madrid seemed to have become the team in Spain, reclaimed that title after some years of Barcelona dominance. And there are serious questions about this Barcelona team. How are they gonna? Was this it? Are they gonna start to reload? Are they gonna start to rebuild? Is Messi declining? Is Father Time catching up to him? How is this new manager going to operate with this team? Are his tactics going to fit compatibly with the unit, with the players that he has? So they bring in this guy Valverde, and he had been coaching a lot of domestic teams in La Liga, but Barcelona by far is the biggest team he's ever coached. Not only has he taken over this team unbelievably well, and he's commanded the respect of the players since day one, and they've responded to his tactics, and they've just competed at an incredibly high level, match in and match out. But they have been on a historic tear so far this season. They are 9 points clear in La Liga. They've won 15 games, and they've drawn 3 times. They haven't lost. In 18 games, they've won 15 of them, and they've tied the other 3. They have a ridiculous goal differential, plus 41. They have scored 48 goals. They've allowed 7 goals. They're not just winning. They are absolutely dominating. Messi's back to his old self. Suarez is having a great year. They just picked up Coutinho in the transfer market. So this team is absolutely rejuvenated. They're playing incredibly good football, and it's really exciting. And then in the Champions Cup, they're taking on Chelsea. That still has yet to play out, but most people, and myself included, I think they'll get past Chelsea no problem. And this team is scary good. and just to see how far they've come from a year ago, where things couldn't have gone much worse for them. In the grand scheme of things, they still had a good year last year. For most teams, it would have been considered a success, but for Barcelona, this was a disappointment. And this year, they're playing angry. You can see it. They're playing with emotion. Messi's playing some of his best football he's played in a long time, and this manager has done an absolutely masterful job at getting these guys to play cohesively and as a unit, and they're on pace to just shatter La Liga and win that easily. They're in every domestic cup as well, and they're not just thinking winning La Liga, they're not just thinking winning the Champions Cup. They are going for a incredibly rare domestic quadruple, winning La Liga, winning every domestic cup, and winning the Champions Cup. It's a big task. It's an almost impossibly difficult task for most teams, but for this Barcelona team, they're confident they can do it. They're good enough to do it, and they know that, and they're going for it. And we will see if they were to do it. But for now, that's all I have to say about it. This has been Jet Armor. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Thanks. Bye.